couple of people have taken my call to say, hey, call me up. I will work this out for you at 1-800-252-1025. And I'll be right with you, but I just want to point out, by the way, we'll also take your emails at lifecoach@kzuk.com. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let's talk to Todd in Olympia. Good morning, Todd in Olympia.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Here at work, opening everything up.
What can I do for you this morning? Whoa.
What was that?
I said, what can I do for you this fine morning?
Hold on, my boss is I gotta make sure you hear me. Basically,
hey, just do your job, whatever it is. Sell me something, order something, convince your boss that you're working right now.
No, but I don't know. I put a lot of effort into my job, and I work pretty hard, and that's pretty much what I feel like all I have left in life right now is working and whatnot. I love my job, but I just feel like I get a little bit walked on at work and not treated very good here.
Well, I got a question for you. Do you put it on attitude where, why do people feel they can walk on you and not somebody else?
I think I'm just too nice, and I mean, and they know I'm going to do the work. They know I'm going to. They know I'm going to do all the procedures, closing procedures, make sure everything's clean, tidied up, and I just do too much around here. And I don't
you know what, Todd?
It pays off.
Believe it or not, that was an acceptable answer to me. That I didn't think you were going to give me an acceptable answer. The fact is that these guys, they do know, even if they're an ass to you, even if they treat you poorly, Todd's going to do the gig. You know what? That is a thing where that should be the thing that takes you to the top. Everybody knows Todd's got it. That's a wonderful thing. Todd, does your boss know that when it comes to push comes to shove, does he know that Todd has it? Apparently not.
What's that? Yeah. No, I'm sorry. It's really loud over here.
That's all right. You're doing your job. God bless you, man. Does your boss know that when it's a tough time, Todd's going to finish everything?
Uh-huh. So, yeah, he does.
And does your boss respect you?
I hope he's not listening.
It's something about you there. I hope he's not listening too. And according to our latest ratings, everybody listens.
I love that he's on the phone at work, though, talking about what a great worker he is, and he's such a hard worker.
Well, I see your point there, Sam.
I think Todd's on his break.
I think Todd's on his break. Let's talk about Todd. Todd slag. But I'll tell you the truth, and you're going to sound. I hope you don't feel like I'm making fun of you, because I'm not. This is a dead serious thing. Do you know that you talk a little bit like Spicoli?
Like what?
Spicoli, the guy from that movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
I did not know I talked like him.
You do. Does everybody notice this?
Now that you said it, yeah.
I just want you to say dude, and I get it completely. I noticed right away. My crew, my friends, they noticed right away. So I think elocution lessons, and I think you can do this, although it's a force of habit. But how old are you?
I'm 25. I just turned 25 last Monday.
Okay, happy birthday. I think you should make a step to grown-up world, because you really do have a childish vernacular, childish speech, a cadence that you don't demand to be taken seriously. When I talk, and not kidding around on the thing, but when I want to be taken seriously and I put my finger out and I say, hey man, I'm talking to you. People pay attention right then and right there. It's because of the big, deep tone of my voice. So that's my first thing for you, I think you need to act. The question was, my coworkers don't respect me. What should I do? And I'm going to say this. Man up a little bit. Continue to be Todd that always gets things done. Try not, and if you have to record yourself, I don't know what it is, but it's a thing. It's a real thing. I felt weird telling you, but you really do. It almost sounds like you're going to say, dude, I'm at this work and nobody wants to talk to me seriously. You need to stop that, buddy. You're 25 years old. And I think the answer that Todd's got this, whatever it is going to take you right to the top. That's my sound advice, buddy. And thank you very much for your phone call.
If you've got a question for the life coach, 800-252-1025. You should be calling that number right now, because any kind of problem, he can help you.
Damn right. Mm-hmm.
You can also email lifecoach@kzok.com. You can also change your name, lie about your name, call yourself Becky or Bill or Steve.
Or Steve.
Or Michelle in Tacoma, who has sent an email to lifecoach@kzok.com. My parents are strict Catholics and are opposed to the idea of living together before marriage. I recently moved in with my boyfriend, who is annoyed that we are carrying on the charade of living apart. He's pushing me to tell my parents. How do you suggest that I do that without having them disown me?
Well, they're not going to disown you. I've lived with at least 3 women that have said, "Oh my God, we can't tell my parents." And nobody ever disowned anybody. I know it happens, but that's not going to happen. And by the way, I got to back your husband on this. I mean, I'll back you because you're the one that wrote the boyfriend. Because, right, this wouldn't be a problem if it was her husband. But if you said, here's what I want to do with my boyfriend, I would always back you because you emailed or called, and I always backed that person. Having said that on this one, though, I think your boyfriend's right. You know, he doesn't feel like your real boyfriend. He feels like you're picking your parents, like you're trying to ride that fence of you're going to try and please everybody. You're going to end up pleasing nobody. God forbid your boyfriend breaks up with you and your parents disown you because you are, in fact, living with this guy. That's not going to happen. But you got to pick. You got to go, okay, because boyfriends like this. It's just, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I know it sounds important to you, but it's not. Whatever happens here is not all that important. So if you get in a fight with your boyfriend, that's fine. But just so he can feel good about himself, he's saying, what's this young lady's name again? Michelle. He's saying, Michelle, pick me. It's time to move on out of your parents. You don't live there. Pick me. Now, how you tell your parents, because once you your parents find out, and they will, you don't get that opportunity anymore. So I'm your boyfriend on this pick, and you need to tell your parents, and you don't want to tell them to go thumb in their nose. Hey, man, look what I'm doing with my free time. You want to tell them, I didn't want to disappoint you or anything. You've raised me well, but this is the day that we live in, so I'm doing this. They'll be mad, maybe not. I don't know. But it seems like they're going to be mad, but your boyfriend's going to go, look, she picked me. We're grown-ups now, and that's what's happening. It's a different time. People do live with their boyfriends before marriage. So I think do it. Pick your boyfriend on this. Tell your parents subtly, and you're going to go, hey, man, that all worked out. I can't believe it.
This is Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, 800-252-1025. Call now if you've got a question because he can help you. Nick and Cedro Woolley, you are on with Danny Bonaduce.
What up, Nick?
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're all good. What can we do for you?
Well, you know, a little awkward about calling the radio station for some advice, but I figured, hey, you know what? My story is kind of funny, so why not entertain some listeners and talk to you guys in the mix of it all?
That is how I live my life, Nick. Let's entertain some listeners. So what's up, man?
So here's the deal, man. About 6 months ago, me and my wife started having some problems. We started going to counseling. It kind of ties into your guys' last segment, which is kind of interesting, too. So
yeah.
We started having some problems and started going to the counseling. Everything was going great. We started to make some new friends at our church, and I thought everything was good. I commercial fished up in Alaska, so I went and spent 6 long weeks alone on a boat with 3 other guys.
And I watched that TV show.
Ended up getting back from Alaska, and she's just basically like, hey, I want a divorce. And so I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of out of nowhere, so we'll go ahead and get this started. And in the midst of that, of being kind of embarrassed with my church and everything, she decided to go after my pastor's son. So big
Yikes-a-rama!
Nick. But Nick's still in the game, and Nick is still getting frustrated, and you know, I end up going, and she's like, I'll get the papers. And I'm like, okay. So I eventually get the papers myself and give her the papers, and then she says, you know what, Nick, I don't want to sign the papers.
For one, I'm shocked that that's the way this is going.
With this one, and in the midst of all that, I kind of have been seeing, like, another girl just as friends, you know,
right.
And she decided to, like, air all of this out on her Facebook, and so inside, like, I just feel like, what do I do now?
Well, is a personal question. Is Nick your actual name?
Yeah, it is. But
then you're kicking her Facebook.
3 Nicks and Cedro Woolley. So
you're kicking her ass in the Facebook game. You're calling a very popular radio show. I know, my boss tells me. So I think you have taken matter in hand. But here's the thing. Here's my big question. Why is she punishing you, Nick? A lot of this sounds like intentional warfare. Did you do something that made her mad? Because you seem really nice.
No, I'm actually a really good guy. I'm cute. I got a good personality. You know, I'm all the things that a lady should want in a man, you know. But I just feel like, you know how ladies are. I mean, when they have everything they want, they realize, hey, you know, this isn't what I really want. There's got to be something better on the other side.
You know, he seems like what I really want, but I'm going to check out his pastor's son, because that's what this chick does. So what is your question for me, buddy? Because I love you. I'd let my kids marry you.
How do I get myself out of this jam? I mean, I can't get the papers signed. Do I just go off and do it on my own? I mean, I haven't talked to a lawyer or anything to that regard.
You should, because it's going to get contentious. This is not going the easy way for you. You've got the papers and she won't sign them. That's already contentious. you need to call. You can certainly call Rick Jones at Goldberg Jones. He's a sponsor of the show. You can call him, and he'll take matters and boom right there. But you need to call whatever lawyer you get. You need to get one. This is not going to go well. And then you might want to work things out in the parameters of your relationship. But you know what? I don't like your wife, Nick. She sounds like a huge pain in the ass. And not like, hey, I don't like the way you act, the way you dress, what you do. I think she's doing stuff to my new friend Nick that is intentionally, pejorative. She's punishing you, and it doesn't sound like you've done anything wrong. So your original question is, how do I know when it's time to get a divorce? The answer is right now. There's the answer to your question. You need to divorce this woman because she's really bad. But I don't insist upon it. If she went, oh man, Nick is the right guy, because you do. You sound like a great catch at your church, and you do this, and I do this commercial fishing thing. Like, I'm the guy. You should marry me. I don't think you have to divorce her. I think you probably should, but you don't have to. If she gets so scared, she shapes right up and starts taking care of my friend Nick. You don't necessarily have to divorce her, but my vote is that you do. Thank you very much for the call, Nick. I appreciate it. You should drop by. You sound nice.
800-252-1025. To talk to the life coach, you need to call that number. Any kind of problem, he can help. You can also email lifecoach@kzok.com. We've got an email here from Randall in Kent. I have a good job, and so does my wife. We have no problem providing for our children. Our dilemma stems from my love of writing. I dream of quitting my job and devoting myself to writing full-time. With my full-time work schedule, I never seem to have enough time to work on the great American novel. My wife is opposed to me quitting. She says I should just make the time. She doesn't want to chop our income in half. What do you say?
Well, you know what? I think everybody's right in this one. First of all, I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but somebody actually called the Great Gatsby the Great American Novel. So somebody wrote it. You don't really have to anymore. But here's what I get. Because you know what? I've written a book, but that's cheating. It was just an autobiography, but it sold well. But all my family writes, and they write professionally. My sister is now on her 3rd published book. My brother does well. And here's the thing, though. They're all deranged. So I think, and it's things I see about movies and in biographies, writers suffer, Writers, you lose sleep. You don't want to, you have time to write. It's when you normally would be sleeping. You need to gut this out for a while. And I don't know what you've sold, because obviously you're talking about commercial writing. I don't know what you sold, but you don't just dump. You don't make it easy on yourself. You make it difficult, or you sweat it out. Have you paid for your art? And the answer is no, you haven't. And I think you may be great at it. But here's the thing on this. Don't quit your job. Everybody's right. We need that money. So give up 3 hours of sleep every single night and write in the kitchen. And, be tired all the time for a little while. That's what it takes to be a great writer. And good luck, by the way. It's an awesome profession and art form. Hey, that's all the time we have for Dan Bonaduce, Life Coach. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.